Welcome to Men, Sex, and Tantra.
Discover what your parents, porn, and religion never taught you about being a man and having extraordinary sex. Get ready to have your mind blown and your world rocked.
Hello and welcome everyone to Men, Sex, and Tantra with Tanya Diamond. And I'm Michael Author. Tanya, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about involuntary celibacy.
Involuntary celibacy? Tanya, what's that?
I know, right? That's when you really want to have sex, but you can't find somebody to have sex with, or nobody wants you, or even worse, you're undesirable because you're just a dumb, stupid dick, or what? I mean, what do you classify it as?
Okay, well, involuntary celibacy, the way I would define it, is any period of time in which, as you said, you're wanting to have sex or you have a sexual desire, but find yourself incapable of gratifying it. And that would be the very basic definition. However, I think we can go one step further and categorize somebody who's experiencing involuntary celibacy versus someone who's categorizing themselves as an involuntary celibate or incel.
Absolutely, because when I have talked to some of the people that follow into that category of incel, right, it's usually they're in high school, they've never had sex before, and a lot of them go, nobody wants me, I'm never going to have sex, this is a thing, and then the mindset becomes, I resent you. I resent you for not giving me what I deserve.
Right, yeah. Although I'd question you in thinking that the majority of these people are in high school.
No, I said the ones I've talked to.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I haven't actually talked to a lot of people outside of that kind of high school, college realm when it comes to this particular thing.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the incel community has kind of formed as an ancillary addition to the like red pill, black pill, MGTOW movements, the some of these more toxic men's groups, right? And they're a particular group that has made an identity out of being involuntarily celibate. And there's a whole set of beliefs that go along with it, right? So you'll find the statistic that they often repeat are the top 80% of women will mate with the top 20% of men. And they call this female hypergamy.
Wow. Hypergamy.
Which is this idea. And if you really delve into the mindset, you'll find that there's this whole like host of just toxic crap that people believe. And it goes something like this, that the only two things that women want in a partner or a potential sexual partner are money and attractiveness. Attractiveness typically measured by height and, money by net worth. Right. I mean, what a hell to construct for yourself, right?
Yeah. I was going to say, like, with these guys that I've talked to in that younger crowd, it's that, they're grabbing onto these ideas because they've been on the internet, why can't I get laid? Whatever it is they've done. And then they're like normal, joining together to commiserate on the fact that they don't meet whatever standards that they're supposed to be meeting. And you're saying money and attractiveness. And then digging themselves into that trench, which of course makes them even feel worse and act
Correct.
out in a way that's not attractive.
And occasionally in my coaching practice, I'll stumble across men who've spent their whole lives actually operating from this mindset and have achieved success, partly as a mating strategy, right?
As a mating strategy. So tell me more about that.
I do believe that the majority of people's motivations in life can be boiled down to sex. And so for some men, particularly some men who happen to be shorter or feel that they're lacking in the attractiveness or confidence category, they will feel at a young age the sense of inferiority and move into compensating for that by becoming good at business or, making a lot of money. And the idea that they tell themselves is, when I make enough money, then I will be able to attract a partner. I will finally become an attractive mate.
Right.
Right. And to some women operating from that mindset, that is in fact true.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, come on, we let's get real. I mean, you see old dudes, unattractive dudes with, models hanging off their arms. I mean, some of this is absolutely true. I had the reverse experience, by the way, because my last partner looked like Johnny Depp at 6 foot something, and people used to look at me like, they'd look at him, they'd look at me, and I'd always look at him and say, I'm just really good in bed. And then they'd they would like, what's up with that? So, okay, so these guys develop this mindset, what I see early on, in a way that doesn't even allow them to find a mate or to have sex. So then that just perpetuates that whole feeling of this is how it really is in the world. When, I don't know, you have not probably heard my story about the troll man.
No.
Okay, so the troll man was a guy sitting at this, laying on a lounge chair at this event. Now, there was a big neo-tantra event going on and this other event at the same hotel. And so there's all these women wandering around in their bikinis and all these, sarong goddessy kind of things, right? And this guy would just sit there, and he was, when I say troll man, he looked like a troll sitting on his lounge chair, just leering at the women walking by. And they would literally like do their best to walk. If they'd see him, they'd turn around. Everybody avoided him the best they could. I think we've done an episode where I talked about this. So I'll do this short if people have heard it. But basically, I approached him. I'm like, hey, dude, you realize you're repelling people? And he's like, oh, well, that's because I'm, short and unattractive and whatever. And he had this whole attitude, right? Attitude for sure. And I said, well, it's your energy, right? It's not how you look. It's how you're acting. And he was like, say more. And so we'd have a little lesson each morning before, and then he'd go out and do something different, try something different. But he had done the whole clothes thing and the money thing and the whatever thing and all these things that were supposed to make him, but he never addressed that inner energy of desperation and privilege, or, you should give me this because
entitlement.
This. Thank you. Great. That's perfect. Yeah. And so by the end of the week, working together, he was sitting in the lounge chair, and the women would start to walk by him, and then they'd stop, and they were actually looking at him. And 4 hours later, he's got women sitting around him, below him. They're sitting like on the ground and around him, talking to him, and because he was a really interesting man with a lot of life experience and things like that was cool. And once he changed it, so I taught him, basically all I told him was, you don't love women, so you're sending out that leering energy of deserving and entitlement and stuff like that. And I said, if you can love all women, not just the ones you necessarily want to have sex with, but come to an energy of loving women for the beautiful creatures that they are, and change that around, you'll see what happens. So that was my approach. So what kind of things have you?
That's a great approach. The one thing that I see as a commonality in most of the incel communities is a deep resentment of women, right? The story is they only date assholes. They only date the top 20% of men. I'm not in that, so I don't have sexual access, right? Those sorts of things. They use these terms, sexual access, right?
Sexual access.
Yeah. Women control sexual access.
Yeah.
And they are using their power without respect for me and my needs and wishes. It goes deep. Yeah. So the first thing that I would do with a man like this is just get him to see that he does not actually love or respect women, as you're saying, right? Which it shouldn't take long.
Right.
And from there, just ask, if you were considering being in a relationship with somebody and you could tell that they neither loved nor respected you, would you want to be in a relationship with them? Right? we should start there. And then I'd probably, get them to, like you were saying, try on something different, right? What if they approach their interactions without any of those beliefs and just was present with an individual. And specifically, I'd get them to actually enter into conversations with women and approach women and talk about some of the things that they're feeling or thinking in relation to relating with them, right? Get them into their actual vulnerability, which at some point they have deemed as not being safe.
Yeah.
Right. So from there, then they'll be able to have authentic relationships with women, which is the only way that they are going to ever get laid, unless they pay for it or it's a pity thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's true. I mean, the reality is, attraction goes always. So, but attraction isn't just physical. And we're all visual. It's not just a man or man thing. We're all visual. But we also have, as women, I know that if a man touches my heart, if he makes me laugh and smile, if I feel safe around him, there's a way more likelihood that I'm going to sleep with him or date him or want to know him more. But if he's got a chip on his shoulder, right? If he's already angry and, he's just assuming that it's already a done deal, then there's no intrigue there. There's no interest. There's energetically, it's a no.
Well, there's two strategies that anyone can use to create some spark with somebody else, right? And those two strategies are resonance and polarity, right? So either you feel kinship with this person, interest, right? Your heart begins to open. You get curious about who they are. That's resonance, right? And that is most likely to generate relationships that feel like nourishing and kind and empathetic and what have you. And that's the thing that these men who are incels likely would never feel safe to create.
Yeah.
So most of the men who are incels go the polarity route, which they learn from things like pickup artistry and stuff like that. It's like, how do I make myself seem mysterious and, slightly dangerous and like a bad boy, right? So then the women who have trauma and daddy issues will be instantly magnetized to me and I can trick them into bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So ideally, a man is able to use both of these strategies together in a healthy way and not in a way that's trying to get one over on anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I am saddened. I will say this: I'm saddened that when a man feels like this is, his lot in life, maybe because he's read something or whatever, and he's still young, like I said, high school, college thing, and they're already assuming that's their lot in life. They're actually like, now that's the focus. And this is what you were talking about, magic or whatever. So their focus is, this is who I am, and this is my lot in life, and this is what's going to happen. You write your own story around that, you're more than likely going to get that story.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, even just like, look at this, that attitude of giving up, right? It's like, I'm not going to get laid. So why would I, comb my hair? Why would I wear clothes that look good? Why would I even carry myself with like an erect posture? What does it matter? Just fuck it. Fuck it. I don't care. It's not gonna sleep with me anyway.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's so attractive.
Black-jawed mouth breathers.
What happened there? So please don't assume that your lot in life, especially high school and college, come on, because let me tell you, I was in college at 17 and I thought I was the last virgin in college, which is really hysterical because everybody was talking about sex. Little did I know that most people actually weren't having sex. They were talking a lot about it, but not actually having it. So there's just a lot of things that we can assume and make stories about that aren't actually real. And if you get in with a group of people that want to tell your story, and that group is a bunch that feels bad and sad for themselves and mad at women because they're not getting there, whatever, and you start making that your reality, there is no place to go but that reality, because you're commiserating with a bunch of people that are buying into the same thing. Turn it around. Go commiserate with some guys that, have had sex every once in a while, or do have some connection with women. And there's nothing wrong with being a woman's friend either. Oh my God.
Correct. Yeah. They talk about friend zoning, right?
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, please friend zone me. Like, let's be friends. Uh,
Well, we can definitely talk about the friend zone in a next episode.
oh
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. So involuntary celibate, incels, we've got that. What's your number one takeaway in a nutshell that you would like somebody that's listening that may be feeling that way? What do you want them to know?
I'd say first of all, I feel the pain of the situation you're in. Of feeling like either you've never had sex or it's been really deeply unsatisfying. And there's a part of you that believes that it may never be possible for you, or that you're limited in your options for women that will want to be with you. And I can tell you right now that whatever you're thinking or feeling about this, it's important to feel it, but to act from that place is really only going to hurt you more in the long term. The more that you can cultivate a sense of possibility within yourself, the more you can allow yourself to expand and grow and deepen into your heart, deepen into your being, and care about your appearance, your impact, the way that you show up, and take responsibility for that. You're going to start attracting a whole different caliber of woman that you would never have thought would even look at you before. And it will take commitment, and it's going to take you looking at how you generated those beliefs within yourself in the first place. But the other side is totally worth it. And if you're interested in doing that, you can always find me, reach out. I have resources to send you.
Yeah, and I would like to leave you. Thanks for that, Michael. I'd like to leave you guys with the understanding from a woman's perspective that we're mostly judging men if it's early, if you're in college or you're in high school or college and you're listening to this and you're young, that everybody's confused. The women and the men are confused. Everybody's confused about sex. A lot of people are only getting porn education about sex, so nobody's really sure what's really going on. And my daughter is 18, and happily says she's a virgin. She's hanging out with a bunch of college people right now, her college crowd. All of them are super cool. All the guys she knows are virgins. They're all fine with it. Nobody's freaking out about it. And I think what they're all cultivating is they're understanding, they're learning to have relationships. And so, they frequently will talk about their friends that end up having sex with their friends because they feel safe and comfortable and happy with that. So they're really not judging. Women are not judging you solely on your looks. And women have a wide range of what also looks good to them. You can be use porn, use the media to get really narrow in your viewpoint of looks, but most people don't start out that way. Most people have a wide range of what's interesting and looks good to them. So please do not buy into this and hang out with people that buy into this and end up with a sour, mad attitude, because that is a sure way to what you don't want. All right, everybody, thanks so much. We'll see you soon.
Bye.